Test 1 2. Test.
Testing, testing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, on a magnificent day. 70, 75 degrees, nice breeze coming out of the south, I guess. Sorry for the interference with the microphones. I am Tony Zarzaka with the coach, Chris Harrison, to my right, and Angie Gregory to my left, as always on the camera. Welcome, Coach. It's been like 4 days we haven't had to do this.
It's been comforting to not lug the stuff around for a few days. Here we are, though, ready to go.
So it looks like we're going to go right into a short pregame here, because we're going to go right into the national anthem, and then we are going to be back with live lacrosse, welcoming the Christ the King Crusaders into the Reef tonight, or this evening. So let's take a quick break. We'll do the anthem, and then we'll get back to some talking. And here we are back live at the Reef at Oceanside Collegiate Academy, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, for today's tilt between the Oceanside Land Sharks and the Christ the King Crusaders, coming down from the Charlotte area. A talented and senior-heavy team we're welcoming in. I think they played Wando last night, and they dropped one to Wando in a competitive match. And a couple of big guys on the team. They've got their number 3, Ben Habel, who was hurt most of last year, but he's their Army commit. So we're looking forward to seeing him coach, as well as P.J. Flynn, who was an all-conference selection last year, going to Anderson. And number 6, J.P. Zimmerman, going to Wingate. So a talented team coming in.
Definitely, Tony, coming out of North Carolina, too. Obviously a lacrosse powerhouse up there. Not the first North Carolina team we've seen this year. It won't be the last. Looking forward to getting it on here today at the Reef, dealing with this stiff breeze. Bear with us at home. We're going to try to keep the camera balanced as much as we can. May get a little feedback here on the mics, but we're doing our best.
Yes, sir. As the players and the captains in the starting lineups take the center of the O there for the traditional handshakes, and kind of like a couple of boxers in the middle of the ring. Our Oceanside Land Sharks come into the match 3-4 on the year. We actually picked up the win statistically against Lake Norman, because I believe they had there was some sort of issue, eligibility or something. Otherwise, nothing to outweigh the lesson they put on that day. But nonetheless, as far as playoffs and algorithms, and it goes in the win column. So we come in at 4-3 for the year. Land Sharks are coming off a landslide victory on Tuesday night, where we just dominated Porter Goud in every way, shape possible. And you got to believe that was due to some lineup changes, some matchups that were exploited. What are your thoughts going into this game if we carry that forward, Coach?
A lot of good stuff out of that game, Tony. I think some of the improvements that I really saw was the transition game was smoother. The clear was considerably better. I do think Porter Dowd played a little bit of a lighter defense than we've typically seen. So we'll see if Oceanside can carry this momentum into today's game.
And we are off, and there's a scrum on the faceoff dot, and Cole the Clamp in a big fight. They're going to call it procedurally for the Crusaders, and we're going to drop back into a defensive posture. A.J. Zarzaka out starting on the wing, and he's going to drop back into that familiar D-mid position that he's been in. So playing both ways tonight, my boy. Of course, Gavin Harrison between the pipes. Looks like Andy Jones out there. Robo Reese doing work behind the net. Thomas the pickpocket Huffines. Sawyer Arnold gets the start on the defensive mid position. So there's AJ tying his man up. A little lobber across the net. The Crusaders are out spinning it around left to right. Number 12, and again, welcoming that Christ the King audience. We're going to do better on the names as the game goes along. That's number 3, Ben Habel, the Army commit, like we talked about up top. And then over to number 12, Aiden Lazarus. Lazarus has got big Sawyer Arnold on him, our all-world defensive end. AJ giving some music to JP Zimmerman. He dishes it off, nowhere to go.
Tony, I know I'm not the only one that's going to say we're happy to see AJ back on the other end of the field here a little bit. Certainly good to have another body playing in that position. And we know that's somewhere he certainly feels at home.
It certainly does. For those that don't know, my son played, AJ played defense his entire life. And there's a pick by Robo. Comes away with Thomas the pickpocket over to Gavin, and we're going to run the clear. AJ's got grass in front of him, and Andy Jones hits AJ. We're going to easily the center line as the Crusaders retreat, easily gets the touch. AJ pushes it off to Ian Long, and that offensive line is out there to do their work.
And Tony, right there was the benefit of AJ at that D-mid position, just making that clear so smooth.
Yeah, so we're 1 for 1 on the clear, 1 for 1 on the possession. Well, we didn't get the possession off the dot due to a procedure penalty, and we've got the big line out there. Carter Gregory, the Triggers out there, Heineman's out there. Over to Magic, MJ, Zanone. He's looking in front. He runs a roller over. Costa's got it backed up in his office behind the net. Ian Long to the right. Carter all the way out wide. We're going to inbound it from under the goalpost. Over to Carter Gregory. Carter goes to make a move, was looking for the pick, didn't get it. And he gets a shot, and he's in the twine at 9:30.
Beautiful.
It is 1-0 Land Sharks on a great play, wheeled around, found an opening, and you always say it, when Carter Gregory has his hands free, good things happen.
Definitely, Tony. We saw the Christ the King defense pressing out a little bit more there than perhaps Porter Dowd earlier in the week, and Carter took advantage of his feet, created some space from his defender, and pretty wide open-handed shot there for the first goal of the game.
So goaltender for them is number 4. Is that 4 down there?
4.
Yeah, 4, P.J. Flynn. Okay, we're on the dot. The Clamp loses the faceoff, but it ends up with Peanut Seaton. Peanut's going to go in, take the zone. A.J. trailing. Peanut's looking for a shot. Hits it right into the goal. Goalie makes a nice save. Boy, I wouldn't want to be that, staring at Peanut bearing down on me in full cock mode.
That's a whole lot of man coming at you.
Oh, my goodness. He's got that 6-foot pole locked and cocked, ready to fire. All right, here comes the Crusaders. Peanut gets a little bit of helmet, no call, no malice to that. And there's going to be a push out of bounds.
Great defense.
Peanut uses the sideline, the defender's best friend. And the Land Sharks are going to retool. Peanut's going to inbound it from on our side of the line. Quickly gets it over to Carter Gregory at the O. Carter comes in, takes the touch, pushes it behind to Ian Long. Ian's wheeling around under the goalpost. He's got a defender, long pole bearing down on him. MJ Magic Zanone. Over to the Trigger, up top to Heineman. Back to Carter.
Little reversal on the midfield line there, Tony.
Yep. The Land Sharks are content to spin it here a little bit and see how this defense reacts to it. Here comes MJ. He takes a lot of fire from number 11. That's Soren Martin. defender out there. Here comes Heinman. He's got to step on his man. He draws the double team. Carter's free. Took a look at it. The trigger likes the top left corner and lights the lamp.
Excellent ball movement there, Tony. Jackson drawing the double, gets it to Carter. Carter feels a little collapsing on him, and he knows if that's the case, the trigger to his right's open. Great pass, great shot.
And we had the perfect point of view because we were directly behind Titus the trigger there, and he was eyeing that top left corner and wasn't going to take no for an answer.
It's really cool when you do have that point of view because you almost feel like you're in their heads as they're playing the game just because you're seeing it the way they're seeing it. Great job there by Oceanside, opening up this 2-0 lead with 8 minutes, 6 seconds left in the first.
Yes, sir. Back on the dot. AJ over here closest to us. Peanut on the other side coming in. The clamp comes away. The ball's loose right this minute. Christ the King. There's a whistle. It's going to be Christ the King with a free in. The defense retreats. Everybody's picking up their man. AJ guarding the Wingate commit. Similar build out there. Up top to number 12, Aiden Lazarus. Lazarus dumps it off. One hopper and a hot ball off the turf. Gathered in by 24. That's Caden Fritz. Fritz is going to push it back. Now wheels it back around to number 3, Habel. Habel's got Peanut looking at him. Tried to get the pick there, but Peanut wasn't having it. Back to number 6. Zimmerman's got it. Gets a step on AJ. Quick recovery. No, AJ swaps off with Thomas. The Crusaders wheel it around. Robo Reese stalking with that long 6-foot-plus frame of his and with the pole on top of that.
Christ the King playing a little pick game here. Set quite a few on that offensive set, and luckily our defense saw them coming and were able to recover.
Yes, sir. Thomas gets aggressive on number 6 there. He gets aggressive on Zimmerman, forces the issue. Bad pass behind. Andy Jones is going to inbound it, and we're going to run the clear. All the way up top to Robo Reese. He bobbles it for a minute, picks up the line, looking for somewhere to go. MJ makes an athletic move, pushes it off to, he almost had Jackson on the give and go there, and it fell apart. MJ did the most of what he's got, and he's got the ball back in his cross.
MJ needed to make the perfect pass there to Jackson, and I would say he had it maybe 2% short, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I think the window closed on him, too. The defender was closing on it.
But they cleaned it up. Getting back in our offensive set here. Let's see how they move it around.
Heinman over to Gregory. Gregory on the far side under the light post. He is so dangerous coming left to right in front of the goal. He's going to wheel around under the goal post to X. The trigger lurking on the near side. Ian Long in an unfamiliar spot up top. He's going to get it. We had it, and the give and go wasn't quite there. Ian couldn't handle the pass. That's going to be a loose ball push coming the other way. So the Crusaders managed to dodge the bullet down 2-0 deep in their own zone.
MJ, nice ground ball there, cleaning it up. We just got caught behind the play with the push.
Goaltender's got wheels. He's content to take the field. He finally dishes it off at the line. Silas Gillum over there giving him a hard way to go. There's a shove out of bounds, but the ball remains in play.
Playing a little field hockey.
Yeah, a lot of action over by the player bench there. Here come the whistles. Can't tell exactly what's going to. Looks like it's going to be Crusader ball.
It was. I heard Coach Reich yell, "Stop interfering." Apparently that's already our third interference call. And Coach Reich's probably going to have some conversations about that when these guys get on the sideline.
So we're back underway. Live lacrosse. Robo Reese got his man locked up. No room at the end for that young man. Reese is, what a player he's become. My goodness.
Amazing that his growth in such a short time.
Just a complete command of what he's doing back there with Andy Jones and Thomas the pickpocket. I mean, you couldn't have 3 tougher poles unless you add Peanut to it, and then it gets really silly.
It also helps when you've got that supporting cast, Tony, when you got guys like that helping to teach you.
There's a drive in front. Gavin gets it right in his cross and bounces off. Silas picks up the rebound. He's surrounded by black jerseys, but they're going to give him the line. Stalking in from behind, almost got undressed there. Did. AJ picks it up, scoops it up behind. He's not taking no for an answer. In the box and over to Ian Long. AJ's going to wheel around, likely come off in favor of the trigger.
Want to see these boys communicating more. Silas was kind of tiptoeing there. I don't think he knew he had man on. These boys need to be yelling to him to let him know.
Well, we're down here. We could yell to him, but it's going to be really bad for those listening.
This is true.
So we have to control ourselves. We're
neutered a little bit by doing this.
We are. We're a little hamstrung by that. Carter Gregory puts the step on, comes around in a position he's so dangerous for. And did it get home?
It in. He snuck it in.
The goaltender thought he had it, and there's Carter Gregory on that patented move, like I said, coming around the net, left to right, and he just finds any crease there is for a 3-0 Landshark lead.
I think he fit that in a space in that bottom corner, not much bigger than the ball itself. Beautiful goal.
So we've got 3 goals, 3 different players, right?
2 for Carter.
2 for Carter. And the trigger. The beautiful goal. We were standing behind him. We saw it the whole way.
Yeah, so all right. Carter at work on a hat trick here.
3:52 to go in the first. 3-0 Land Sharks. Looking good early here. Ball movement's good. Couple little mistakes to clean up. We'll get there throughout the game.
We've talked about Cole a lot this year, especially those early games. The gauntlet of Fogos he had to face. He's got a little bit of a size disadvantage again here today, Tony, I noticed.
Yeah, he's always going to be in that position more often than not with upperclassman Fogo. And he's making the adjustment. We're watching his growth before our very eyes. There's a nice dish from AJ on the outlet.
Great
over
clear
to
again.
Jackson Hyman. Jackson gets a step, draws the double team, backs out in favor of waiting for the armament to roll onto the field. So here comes the trigger. Carter Gregory's got it under the far light pole. MJ lurking over there. Carter puts on the Jets real quick to see who's going to move with him. Now he starts from under the goalpost at X, where he's so dangerous.
He's got that short stick matchup.
He gets around, big swim move. He's looking for the dish, and then he goes for the turnaround jump shot and fires it into the Olax tapestry on the soccer goal there.
Good slide there by Christ the King. Got kind of up in Carter's grill and made him force that shot a little high.
Titus has nowhere to go with it. He gets a quick, sneaky little shot down at the feet of the goaltender, and the goaltender answers. So P.J. Flynn is busy early, gave up 3, and he's faced more shots than that. So the Land Sharks appear to be loose. They're confident. A couple little sloppy things we need to clean up, but it's going to be okay. Carter coming around. He took a peek, got 2 guys on him. Oh, my goodness, Ian Long.
Ian,
wow.
That was basically hit the rewind button on that same play about 3 minutes ago. He wasn't going to make the same mistake. He buries that one.
Ian Long buries it into the back of the net. 4-0 Land Sharks, and he was wide open. I mean, he didn't have anybody standing near him, and he was wide open for the step down and just made it count.
The Oceanside offense is definitely seeing something because Carter's back there at X, and that's the second time we've seen that pass up to the top. So great recognition on Carter's role there too.
Yeah, and here we are 8 games into the season, Coach, and these players are learning to play with one another. We got a lot of young guys out there, and against ridiculously tough competition early in our schedule. They really were baptized by fire. These young guys had to step up. We had to see who's going to play and who's not, who's still in a learning mode. And it was somewhat of a crucible, and obviously Ian Long, Cole, certain underclassmen, they just rose to the top.
Think how hard it is as a freshman, Tony, to just come on a team and practice and be part of that varsity level team. Not only did these guys do that, they're out here contributing on a regular basis, so it's pretty amazing. Bodes well for this team going into the future.
Yeah, the future of this team is bright. And I told you, coming into that Porter game after taking down the who was the other team from Georgia we played? Not Lampert, the one after that.
Cambridge.
Cambridge. After taking down the Cambridge team, a very good Cambridge team, this team has a confidence about them and a swagger that they've managed to recapture under Tom Harris's leadership. A lot of discussion there. Colin Reich, the coaching staff, has really been working on it. There was some communication miscues between the staff and the players. They weren't, again, young guys. They're not sure what they were supposed to be doing. And once that all kind of surfaced, we're watching a much more confident product.
Well, there's a fine line between swagger and complacency, and we got to make sure that we maintain that swagger.
And there's Cole giving some music to number 3, the big Army commit. Cole is not intimidated. He is a tough young man. They still don't have a touch. There's the touch. Peanut was, he didn't make it easy. He gives the lumber. So the players are out there barking their signals, and Flynn was, he was getting a lot of lumber from Peanut. He's working against the state's best defender out there.
Cole's hung out there playing some D-mid.
Yeah, just couldn't get the change. And again, sorry about the wind noise, folks. It's breezy here at the Reef tonight. There's a lot of movement around the net. Quick turnaround, Gavin. It goes wide. Not sure if he got a piece of it or not, but nonetheless.
If that didn't hit him, I don't know how.
Right. So then we're out to Gavin's going to run the clear. He's got it. He's got a little trot in his step tonight. Outlets at the Peanut, a little bit of a slow pass, but no harm, no foul. Peanut's easily going to take the touch. Carter gets it here on the near side.
Tony, I know I'm partial because my son's playing in goal there, but I love this clear. We feel like the confidence is there. It's made the game so much smoother.
Boy, Cole wanted to shoot, or Ian wanted to shoot.
He had it. He had it.
He wasn't.
I think he may have been nervous. Should I be shooting here again? But
Yeah.
he had that. His hands looked to be clear from our angle.
Yeah, and I think the coaches are going to say, look, you know,
take it.
Number 5 was in your hands, and you left it out there. No harm, no foul. We're going to maintain the possession with less than a minute clicking down, so you got to figure we're looking to set up the last shot here. Over to Magic MJ Zanone.
And that was probably playing through his head, Tony.
Yeah, Jackson Hyman. Yeah, I mean, you didn't want to take it. I wasn't looking to see if it was backed up or not, but he had so much net available to him. There's almost no way he could have missed it. MJ, but good discipline if that's where his head was.
Certainly.
Jackson Hyman up here on the near side, nearest to the camera, back to the trigger up top, over to MJ Magic. And the boys rotated around. Jackson Hyman got the step he wants. He was liking it. Back to Costa. Costa feeds in front. Carter Gregory, where he's so dangerous, and he buries it.
There's the hat trick in the first quarter.
Carter Gregory with a hat trick in the first quarter, and we got one from the trigger, and we got one from Ian Long. And everybody is clicking in this Oceanside offense. Few mistakes. And I say that not like a few mistakes, but there's very few mistakes.
I will say this, Tony, and I need a piece of wood to knock on real quick here.
Well, we happen to have one.
This is the smoothest this offense has looked this season, I believe.
You got to like the progression. You know, congrats.
Just very smooth.
Congrats to that coaching staff. You know, if you'd have told me that it was going to be this good 4 games ago, I would say, wow, we got work to do. Not that it couldn't happen because we have an immense talent, but getting all the talent where it needs to be. Cole takes a huge shot from behind, and that's going to be out of frustration. They're going to blow it dead. Cole Bradford sacrificing himself. And, again, he had the run, and I think he hesitated for 1 second. He's like, it's not supposed to be this easy.
Well, he got tagged.
Yeah.
And my guess is Oceanside will hold the ball here with 1 second left, so they start with possession in their zone, and we'll be going into the second quarter.
So while we're talking about Cole, I want to give a shout-out to his dad, Dennis. So Dennis, his father is in the Coast Guard, and I'm pretty sure, because I don't see him here.
Well, it's ironic you say it, Tony. He just checked in with us on the chat board. Thank you, gentlemen, he says, so we know we're happy that he's able to tune in and see Cole do his job out there.
So, yeah, and Dennis is in the Coast Guard, and he is out in the Philippines doing joint maneuvers with the Navy and the Marines and so on and so forth, keeping our shores safe for us and our allies. We appreciate your service, and anybody that's standing next to you, Dennis, please give him a thanks from the Oceanside family here for your service and dedication to our national security. So that brings us to the quarter.
Fast first quarter. Not much stoppage of play.
Well, and we have a breeze here, and the first quarter breezed by. So let me breeze through some, you sensing the theme? We'll breeze through some sponsors here. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Charleston. As always, if you're in need of plumbing help, please call us at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Bowline Wealth Management, Coastal Millwork and Supply, Fast Trans Intermodal, Longshore Boats. Today is boating weather. Where are the Merediths?
It's windy out there. I don't think I'd want to be on a boat.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty nice out. I mean, but
Sun's
compared to what we've
gorgeous,
been dealing with. So longshore boats up on Clements Ferry Road. If you're in the market for a boat, go see Chris Meredith and let him relieve you of some of your excess resources. McDonald's, Saltwater Rides, SGKA Investments, Charleston Design Center, Thomas Supply, Axis Endurance Coaching, Charleston Elite Lacrosse, Lolax Lacrosse, Matzo Deli, Jersey Mike's Subs are our Feed the Shark sponsors. We also had some Miglioris in there. Got to mention my paisan, Don Migliori. Beacon Community Bank, Acme Low Country Kitchen, Playa Bowls, who is actually a real good customer of mine. Playa Bowls, James and Kristen Rosebach, the Hymans, the Longs, the Johnsons, the Craybills, the Hollingsworths, the Funkadelics, the Gregorys, and the Harrisons.
San Miguel took care of our boys, too, and fed them.
Yes,
so,
thank you, San Miguel. Gracias. All right, we are going to whistle it in here because we held the ball, so we're going to start in the zone with possession and a man up. So it's like Christmas Day. The man up is out there. AJ, Carter, the trigger, Jackson Heineman. Take your pick. Ian Long. MJ Magic. Hyman up top. Inside to Carter. Carter took a shot at it, and Zanone was ready to hit the deck because he was afraid he was going to take the business end of Carter's full swing. Over to – there's a shot inside. A feed inside.
Great feed by Heineman.
Ian Long just buries it in the twine, and the goals we're seeing are authoritative. There is not a dribbler to be had here. 6-0 Oceanside Collegiate Academy over the Crusaders of Christ the King.
It's clicking.
Wow. I mean, just no hesitation, just pass, shoot, gone. So the Oceanside Land Sharks have exploded to a 6-0 lead here with 11:33 to go in the half.
Got CJ here in the near wing, ready to go out for the ball. Your boy AJ, far side.
The clamp out on the dot. The referee telling everybody how to do their job. Little adjustment to the foot alignment there. And they tie it up. And the big fellow from Christ the King kind of gets it his way, but Christ the King comes away with it. There's a shot, and Gavin couldn't see it. I don't know.
He saw it. He just missed it.
I was going to say sun glare.
Well, Tony, you might not be too far off on that. That is at an angle, but guy bearing down on him.
So the Crusaders, no sooner do we speak, they get themselves on the board, 6-1. Now we've got the clamp back out there, and it looks like Peanut Seaton coming to us. AJ on the other side. Standard fare in the defensive zone. The clamp comes away with it. Come on, scoop it up there, Cole. Good job. He gets in. MJ, oh, boy, he wanted it bad. He cocks but doesn't fire. MJ's got it. AJ back out there in an offensive role here now. MJ had the pick from AJ, decided to go the wrong way. He enjoys punishment.
Ran away from it there.
He ran away from the pick. AJ will tell him about it later. AJ feeds it off to Rosebach, making his first appearance of the night. Carter Gregory in, giving Rosebach giving Jackson Hyman a blow, it appears.
Good to see Liam out there.
And Ian is, in this particular night, I mean, Ian is in a little modified role here, the way he's picking around the net and coming out in front where he's normally distributing the ball from X. So a little adjustment there by the coaches. You got to love that. The trigger taking heavy fire from Flynn, or Habel. Carter out front, up to the trigger. Surveying, trotting around deep in the zone. MJ rotating up. Rosebach out here on the close to us. Kamikaze Costa surrounded by black jerseys. He wouldn't be comfortable if he wasn't. The trigger comes around. He's looking. He gets the slide. He draws the double team. Up top. Over to Rosebach. Rosebach winds, fires, and gets it. One shift, one goal for Rosebach. You got to love that. So back to a 6-1 lead, or 7-1 lead, a 6-goal cushion for the Land Sharks. And it doesn't seem that personnel seems to matter. Everybody gets a shot here.
I'm loving what we're seeing here, Tony. Guys seem to know where their teammates are going to be. They're moving with good pace here. We don't see too many still feet out there. I hope they keep this pressure up. I feel like sometimes we get ourselves in a jam when we start to play a little more conservatively.
Agreed, and I think we've got a motivated team. Again, these players have worked hard with the coaching staff to get on the same page, and I think you're seeing the fruits of that. And everybody's just more relaxed and more confident. And some would say that, well, it's a little different competition, but I tell you, this is a good Christ the King team. And this is a team that plays in the same conference with Lake Norman. This is a North Carolina, tough team.
Great
Peanuts,
can opener by Peanuts Seaton there on the side.
He's not going to be content until he gets the stick, too. Ball's on the ground. That's going to be off at 24. Caden Fritz.
That was Andy Jones coming in with that secondary check to get that ball out of bounds.
And the defense, let's not – back to A.J. Okay, we're going to run the clear. So Gavin's kind of out in left field, makes a long pass. Peanut does a little tip to himself, manages to gather it in. That's actually a pretty good job. And that's a long pass for Gavin coming out of a goalie stick, go along the width of the field. And he put it within reach. And Peanut just made it kind of look easy to gather that in. That was a tough ball to gather.
Peanut makes a lot of stuff look easy.
I would agree with that. All right, so the standard fare out there right now, Jackson, Hyman, Carter, Gregory, Titus the Trigger, Costa roaming the middle. We haven't called his number yet. Won't be long. I have a sense the Trigger's motivated.
I think that was post, Tony?
Or
was that a helmet?
I didn't hear a clank. I heard more of a clunk.
Yeah, a little lower pitched, right?
Yeah, I didn't hear a ding. So here's Jackson Hyman working defensively against Hable, the Army commit. Was injured last year. Obviously, we thank him for his service. That is a tough commitment to make, and appreciate him as well with the
amazing honor,
service to our country, and the honor that young man bears. So 6, Zimmerman is caught down deep, and he's got a whole face full of Thomas Huffines. Thomas picks his pocket, because that's what Thomas Huffines does. Oh, over the shoulder pass. Looks like it's going to get gathered, and it goes off of Jackson Hyman. That was tough to handle.
It was like a receiver breaking downfield on a fly pattern and just a bit out of reach.
Yeah, but the ball is smaller, and so are the hands. So we're back in play. The Crusaders, number 20, Matt Puma. He's got a little room. Quickly closes with Silas Gillum.
Silas did good taking the angle there.
Closed him off. AJ lurking out there. Peanut seating up top. And, you see AJ and Peanut out there. It just reminds you of pole days, doesn't it?
I love it, Tony. I love it.
I
hope your boy is because I love the look.
Oh, and there's an errant pass off of number 20. That's Puma. Tips it, and it goes out of bounds. Silas is going to trot to the fence, say hey to the folks, ask somebody, please get me the ball. There's one, flips in. Silas is going to inbound it. He's going to take a run up the sideline. And he had the big Army commit bearing down on him. Up top to AJ, now on offense. Looks like he's going to roll and look for the sideline here. Jackson Hyman's going to find his way back in. Silas and Jackson trade places. AJ pops out. And we've got the offense on the field. Hyman's in. Comes the Trigger. MJ Magic Zanone floating on those fluorescent green cleats nearest to us. Back behind the net. Kamikaze Costa's got a long pole on him, giving him some lumber. He outlets it to Ian. Ian Long back up top to the Jackson Hyman. Hyman takes a half a pick.
Some aviation exercises in the background here.
Yeah, I think that's the Hollingsworth King Air headed back toward its home base in, I forget where they keep it, but it's not here. Oh, MJ does a little slide there. That was nifty. Little turf burn on the knee. Carter's got room. Goal. Number 4 for Carter Gregory. And
just drifting across. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I would venture to say at halftime the Christ the King coaches are going to say 55 cannot go free anywhere. 8-1, Land Sharks, 5:46 to go in the half. The game is cruising by.
Yeah, somebody puts 4 up on you, you're going to be making adjustments to that guy at halftime, most certainly.
Yeah, you got to think so.
And I will say, I mean, Carter's been incredible all season, but this feels like one of the first games where he's kind of been able to find his stride and really getting those hands free. So that's awesome to see.
Well, participation, you got to imagine. And there's the face-off, and it's gathered in, and AJ just will not stop. So he takes down the Army commit, ends it up with MJ. Habel is coming after MJ with everything he's got. AJ just did the can opener on him and popped the ball loose after a clean possession.
Nice job by AJ there.
And then we're back in the offensive zone. Costa's in business here. Pushes it up to Carter Gregory with 4 goals on the day already.
Rosebach coming back out here. Also Trigger.
Love it. Rosebach's got 1 shift, 1 goal, so he's going to look to double up. His average is pretty good. Rosebach comes. He fires it long way over to Carter on the near side. Carter surveying. Ian Long rotating around. Gives way to Costa in front of the net. Bigger body. Rosebach over to the Trigger. Trigger makes the dodge, gets by. He's ran himself out of real estate, put it on the ground, corrals it again. MJ sets a little pick, slows down the defender. Back up top or out to the side to Carter. And it appears the Crusaders learned their lesson there. As number 5, Jonah, can't say the last name. We'll call him Jonah. Jonah just decided he wasn't going to give Carter any room there.
Yeah, they're going to have somebody be his shadow, that's for sure.
And there's Carter he tried it again, and number 4, the goaltender, Flynn corrals it. And they're going downtown on a fast break here. Dishes it over, 1-2, misses the pass to number 6, Zimmerman. And that's going to be an Oceanside ball, and Andy Jones is going to do the valet jog over to the sideline. And gets it.
That's a little luck staying out of trouble there, Tony.
Yeah, that could have been trouble for Gavin there on an island. Carter easily takes the half line, trots in. He'll get a foot in the box. Number 12 there, Lazarus, content to give him the touch.
For everyone at home, Tony, 3:45 left in the half.
Thank you, Coach. I'm looking the other way, always keeping me honest on both production and stats and everything else. The offense is taking shape. Rosebach checks back in. Looks like Carter Gregory's going to take a break. And that would mean that
Finn Wagner
is going to check in. We're starting to get the rotation down. If Tom doesn't mess us up, we'll have this down to a science in a game or two. Ian Long up to Rosebach. Rosebach over to Hyndman. Hyndman gets a step, runs right by him. There's a flag off ball from the other side of the field. And he's pointing at Costa. So Costa.
No, that's against the other team. It's against Christ the King.
Oh, so Costa was just going to the
sideline.
sideline.
Maintaining possession. I think we're getting our man up offense out there.
Costa had a I'm sorry trot going there.
Yeah, maybe
I must have misunderstood.
Maybe he's empathetic to the guilt of the defensive player in that situation.
I'm curious the call because it was way off ball.
Had to be some kind of interference call. I didn't see the motion of the referee, but it was the backside ref that called it. I didn't see any vicious slashes or anything going on.
No, I didn't hear sticks or helmets or anything. And I don't see that the referee came over to the table to tell us anything. How's that work?
Well, here we go.
All right, back to lacrosse. Ian Long inbounds. I can't hear Renicki. He just announced something, but I can't hear what it was. He's fighting the wind over there, too, on his mic.
The wind kicked up right when he started talking.
AJ, the man-up offense is out there, which the hockey guy in me calls it the power play. And there's a behind the back. Oh, my God. All the finest meats and cheeses for my men, Carter Gregory says. Behind the back. So he gets the BTB for number 5 on the day.
Angie, what'd you feed him?
Goodness
Dayquil.
gracious.
So Dayquil is the new trick to coming out and executing a good game here. Unbelievable.
He
Unbelievable.
was tied up 9-1 Land Sharks in a landslide of a first half. And
you know, Tony, I think those are the things you do when you're playing with confidence. Obviously, playing with a 9-1 lead helps a lot too. But these guys, again, I talked before, just very smooth. Feel like they all know where each other are on the field. Looking very good.
All right, the clamp comes away with it. He's dodging his way through traffic. AJ calling for the ball, and there's I'm not sure what is that call that he just made, Coach.
I don't know if that was a ward or some kind of interference.
Some sort of interference call. So we're going to go back on defense. AJ says, I'll take that. No. He interrupted the pass. They still don't have a touch, and they're flirting with over and back. So there's a timeout by Christ the King, well-timed.
Yes, definitely.
Goodness gracious, what can we say about this offense? Tom Harris has his boys locked in. They are on a mission. I've spoken to multiple players coming out of that game against Cambridge. They believe they can run the table, and that's a pretty stout claim with the schedule that we have ahead. Where we have some more North Carolina teams to deal with, and we've got to finish the season with IMG coming in here. So
I love the confidence. In my mind, you just want your guys ready for the next game. And I think these guys are able to break that down. But they see what they're capable of. They know this team is a special team. Would love to see them be able to win out. But let's go out, win the next game, win the games that we absolutely have to win. Again, the goal here is getting to the postseason.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, you know I'm a big Penn State fan, which means I'm a big James Franklin guy. And Coach Franklin's famous for a lot of things, like blowing big games. But he's also
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, he's famous for a lot of things, including blowing big games. But he is an incredible motivator. He's a great recruiter. And his theory of every game we're going to go out and get 1-0. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. You're only looking to the next game. Even when you have Ohio State circled on the calendar for a year ahead of time, you're still looking at that next game. So I'm not an unrealistic Penn State fan.
Tony, and I think that's just the way it has to be because athletes are just so well trained anymore. On any given day, you just feel like any team can beat another one. They just need to have the right day.
Right.
So you don't want to be the team that's taking that lump.
Well, look at Wando and Beckham. Wando's a talented team, and if you don't bring your best, they're going to put it on you. I've heard a lot of chatter about that locally. What a can opener right there by Peanut. Just, number 24. And he's doing a good job. And it looks like Peanut's going to end up in the box over it.
He's going to get a holding call.
Which, tough to believe. There's a feed in front, and then there's another flag.
Yeah, we're going to be 2 men down here.
So this is going to get a little bit saucy toward the end here.
And unfortunately, I believe we have 2 poles going off.
Well, the good news is we've got some poles in reserve. So CJ is going to check in.
Sawyer.
Oh, Sawyer. Well, it's not
Sawyer
a game.
doing Sawyer things.
Now it's a game. It is not a game until Sawyer Arnold and all 6'5" of him takes a knee. And look, we pick on Sawyer because he is built like a man-child. He is an all-world defensive end, 2-time state champ football player defensive end, and he has taken to this game like a fish to water. He had a pole. He was a long pole last year.
I thought we were 2 men down, but we are not.
Oh,
so Tony, somebody said to me, Sawyer didn't have a long pole last year. They said they gave him one for 1 week, and they took it away.
That doesn't mean he didn't have it. And there's CJ with a good poke.
Oh, great fight by CJ there.
Good fight, and look at Andy Jones coming out of there. He's going to just backhand feed it into the zone, and Magic can't see it on the gloss of the carpet, but he scoops it up, and those are fluorescent cleats moving toward the goal. He's thinking shorthanded goal. He takes the rip, and he gets it. MJ, Magic Zanone. MJ doing MJ things. And incredible.
Tony, it's the simple things. People at home may not have noticed, but Zanone definitely wanted to let that shot go earlier, and he knew his guys didn't have it backed up. So he took a break to the middle to give himself a few extra seconds, and that made the difference for his guys to get back in case that ball went by the goal. Just very heady play there by Zanone.
Wow. Incredible. So we're 10-1.
Minute 32 left in the half.
And the Crusaders are just reeling. There's just too much firepower early on from this Oceanside team. CJ out there. They're getting some possessions, but the poles of Oceanside are just not. And it looks like Peanuts' play was unreleasable because they didn't let him go with the goal.
Well, we scored. That's why.
Oh, that's true. I was just thinking a goal. Always keeping me honest. All right, so the Crusaders in their man-up offense.
And now we're even.
And now we're even. And Sawyer was what discipline by Sawyer Arnold? A week ago, he would have leveled him. Sawyer stalking. Thomas the pickpocket up top.
Big possession here for Christ the King. They want to paint one on the board before halftime. Obviously, Oceanside wants to keep the momentum in their direction.
And the Crusaders, again, great, really good team from a really good area. They're just choked up on the sticks and holding them tight. And the poles pressing out. Look at that press by CJ. There was a time where we'd be content to let him have the perimeter and just kind of sit back. And it's just that's not the world we're living in right now. AJ back behind the net, guarding his guy.
Getting down to 10 seconds here.
And the man-down defense is up to the task thus far. Here comes the last drive in front, turn around, wide of the net.
Mom goal there, and thank God because Harrison, I don't think, saw that at all unless he knew it was going wide and just didn't react.
I think he knew it, Coach. I'm going to give him the benefit because he moved over to hug the post.
I saw him hugging that post, but when the shot went off, it was kind of like still body, and I got a little nervous.
And he didn't go down.
Correct.
So, sometimes when Gavin doesn't know what this. Sometimes when he's not sure what to do, he covers the bottom.
Yep.
And so I'm going to say he saw it the whole way, and he covered the post, and he felt good that he had it covered.
He'll love you.
Right? He can love me. That's all right. I love him. So our broadcasting guardian angel, my cousin Scott Cockerill of Turner Broadcasting fame for 36 years, he's checking in with us. He says, I love the fact that you play great competition early, take some losses, and learn to make your team better in both football and lacrosse. Nice job, coaches and athletic staff. Thank you. Freshmen cooking, the underclassmen, everybody contributing. But today is Carter Gregory Day, apparently.
The Dayquil is the secret elixir, apparently.
So
just incredible. He looks like he's playing in his own field, like he's above everybody and he's just looking down on it all.
Yeah.
Unbelievable the ease he's playing with. Great to see because he earns it every game. Usually he's scrambling, drawing double teams, moving the ball to space. Today he's actually getting that space and letting it rip.
And my sense is, and you'll correct me here, but I think the fact over the last couple games that the rest of the offense has risen, that pressure isn't on him. Okay, as everyone else contributes, think about how many people are getting goals, right? The Trigger's never met a shot he doesn't like. MJ's the same way. Multiple goal games by both of them. Ian Long just continues to get better, and there's just not enough defense to cover that much firepower, and that gives Carter the to do the things we're watching right now. Fair?
Hindman's been shooting like a howitzer. And then you got Costa that kind of lurks in the middle. He's just always a threat sitting in there because the second the defense comes out of the middle to start taking some of these guys on the perimeter, all of a sudden you got Costa waiting for slam dunks.
Yeah, so out wide, you mentioned it, we have Jackson Hyman, and when Jackson takes a step down, he's the best step down shooter we have on this
You don't want to be in the way of that.
You don't want to be in the way, and the accuracy is there. So if he gets if he can see Twine, he'll put it there, and he'll put it there with bad intentions.
And he's one of those guys, Tony, that he builds on himself. Like once he gets that first goal, it's like when the Hulk rips your shirt, all of a sudden he's in Hulk mode in his own mind. He usually needs to get that first goal to kind of break that open.
And our boy Kamikaze Costa lurking, and I love that for him because he is lurking. He's waiting for someone to ignore him and then pay. It's just a matter of time because they're going to say, okay, we got to cover everybody else. He's going to find himself open, and he'll light the lamp before it's over.
He puts himself in spaces that a lot of guys don't want to be, and he's got the size, obviously, that lets him kind of stand there and not be super challenged at least. Or if he is getting challenged, he can body it off. Yeah, you don't want to – the second they start to push out, all of a sudden it becomes his game. So I do think what we're going to see here in the second half, Tony, 10-1 Oceanside advantage, you'd have to think Christ the King is going to play more aggressive defense because at this point, what do you have to lose?
Well, that's it. They're gonna press out more. They're gonna look for the turnovers. They're gonna clean up some things. Again, this is a good program. I mean, you know, and I asked that question of the coaches that I always ask, describe your team in one word. His word was hustle. So Coach Mike Habel, who number 3, the Army commit, is his son.
And we already saw his hustle down the field. Amazing the speed he has.
Yep, and he and I forget how that exactly goes, but anyway, they're both named Habel. He's been the coach for 9 years. He knows this team. He built this program. So similar to Tom, our Tom Harris, this is the OG. This is the original coach of Christ the King. I know they're at least socially among lacrosse brethren, they're friends. And a mutual respect there. So to the audience at home for Christ the King watching, I mean, nothing but respect. You're watching an Oceanside team that is gelling over time, and I have no doubt that there's going to be some adjustments at halftime, and we're going to see a much more competitive look in the second half here.
And we know we've had some dangerous third quarters as an Oceanside squad.
Yeah, so why don't we take a breath? I'm going to get a drink of water, and we will come back here shortly.
We'll see you soon.
And we are back live at the Reef, Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina for the tilt against Christ the King out of North Carolina. The Crusaders are reeling in a hole by 9 goals. The Oceanside's got them 10-1, and we're looking at some different players starting the second half here with, let me see who we got here. I got to get my lineup card. There's Cole. He comes away with the face-off clean. He goes right in, gets a bouncer, and that's going to go out of bounds, backed up by Costa. So the boys are going to start in the offensive zone here. Pushing it over. Carter Gregory's got it. We've got Finn Wagner, Rosebach to Wagner. So we got those boys in there. Angie, Coach Chris is working on getting some balls to the end lines here, and Angie and I are buttoning up production. And we're back.
I made my announcement.
There you go. The coach has arrived. Carter Gregory behind the net. 11:10 to go, clicking down third quarter. The trigger's got it. He likes it, and he lights it on the top right this time. We had the exact same view of it, and he's dialed in. So number 2 on the board for the trigger.
What do you think, Tony? You had about 2 inches maybe to play with there?
Yeah, I mean, he maybe had one, like in golf, you say one ball outside the cup.
Right.
He had one ball.
One ball.
So about 2.5 inches, I guess, a lacrosse ball is, and that's what he stuffed that hole in. The goalie was in good position, and he just snuck it in that top right corner. And so we are 11-1, and the Crusaders are just operating, staring up out of a well. So we've got number 19, Logan Finley, my man Chris's boy. Logan gets in the game here on the long pole side. They're digging it out. Kimker in the game. Finley comes away with it. He's got wheels turning. He's about to take some heavy fire. Loses the ball. You need that, son. Kimker gets a little physical inside. Crusaders come away with it. They're downfield across the half line. They still don't have a touch. Habel takes it in, gets the touch. So you've got out on the field, you have Kimker. AJ just checked in from a D mid. So we're sticking with that, even with the lead here. Finley out there, 19. Good to see him, the young man getting some valuable minutes here against great competition. So Harris using the bench. That's CJ over there working behind the net. Pushes it up top to Habel. Kimker keeping eyes on the big boy. And we've managed to kind of keep their guns, everybody, under control. And there's a goal. So a twist, a feed inside from Habel into Zimmerman, and Zimmerman hits pay dirt there. So that gets him 11-2 here.
Tony, I think it's good we're getting some guys off the bench and in here. We have 2 weeks from now, we have 3 games in 3 days. We're going to need some of our depth guys to be able to eat some minutes, get them out here now against some good competition, as you said, get them ready to go.
Yeah, Andy Jones trotting over here to the near side, and Rosebach on the other wing over there, the clamp on the dot. And the clamp wrestles with it. Cole Bradford. And that's going to be Rosebach, and he's got wheels turning. He looks to Carter Gregory. Carter was kind of, what am I going to do with this? Because he passed it to him in traffic.
Rosebach was shot out of a cannon.
He was. I think he'd like to have that back, and maybe he would have gone to the cage and tried his luck there. But he dished it off to Carter, the upperclassman. And look, it's hard to argue with the decision, right? The guy's got 5 goals. Every time he touches, it goes in the net. So get it to him. But he was double covered at the moment.
Great ground ball by Andy Jones.
Are we on sides? Looks like we are.
Looks good. We got 3 back.
Over to AJ. There's a feed up top to Carter. AJ, he's going to hang out there. And Carter Gregory gets in for number 6, the double hat trick.
The old reliable bounce shot.
The bounce shot, 12-2.
Got our freshmen doing some freshman things on the sidelines,
Yeah.
supporting the squad. Gotta love that.
I do. And you could just sense that the weight has been lifted off of this team, and they are coming hard. They're having fun. The Crusaders, I mean, the field has just been tilted. The defense for Oceanside, the poles have just been suffocating inside. So Finley checks back in here at LSM up on the line. Silas Gillum on the other side. The clamp. There's a procedure issue. And it's going to be Crusader ball. So they're going to get the free in. And that's going to be number 12. So Lazarus brings it in. Everybody's checked up. Kempker's out there. Finley's out there. Gillum's out there. And that's going to be the front line. And then Thomas, the pickpocket. The pickpocket is running the field, coming off a knee injury. He looks fine to me at full stride.
Little bionics helping him out there.
Yeah, he's got a little bionics. And talking to his mother, that's really mental because his knee's good, but he feels better. He's just more confident with the wrap on there.
Obviously very physical, but very mental as well.
Yeah. So we've got Ian Long checks in. Rosebach and Wagner are out there. So we've got 3 non-rights on the field.
This is the look we ended the half with.
Yep. We've got 3 non-rights. The trigger is looking for real estate. He can't find an angle. Over to Carter. Why not? Carter makes a move, makes a swim, comes back the other way, feeds it behind, gets the pass picked off.
Long pole kind of knocked that down.
Feeds it to the goaltender, and the clock's ticking. They're not even attempting the out yet. Closing down, the trigger sees blood in the water, and he goes after a loose ball, and the suffocating ride of the Oceanside Land Sharks is on. Rosebach finds it in his cross, and then we've got possession again. Great ride, young men. He just misses. There's what I was telling him, lurking inside. Kamikaze Costa just waiting for somebody to ignore him. If that feed was on, he would have fired it.
I have no idea how Gregory got that ball over by the sideline. He was standing next to the post of the goal. What a hustle by him to keep the ball Oceanside.
Well, since it's, in the Oceanside world, it's Carter Gregory Day, and the trigger rings one off the post and then backs up his own shot.
Gotta love that. Follow your shot.
Follow the shot. I mean, just everything clicking right for the Oceanside Land Sharks.
No lazinesss today,
Up to
Tony,
Rosebach.
at all.
They must be feeling great. The 5 o'clock start. So, everybody's got a pep in their step. And there's a turnaround by Ian Long. Oh, my God. He makes the turnaround Carter Gregory shot and drills the top left corner. 13-2.
Is that all his meats and cheeses yet?
Yeah, we'll get there. I only use that once a game, and I used it on Carter.
I know.
You
But was that 3?
That's 3. That's a hat trick for Ian Long.
And I believe that's his 2nd on the season.
Wow.
As a freshman contributing, baby.
The
That's
freshman
awesome.
and that's what I'm saying. When you've got that out there, that just makes real estate for a Carter Gregory and the trigger. And Jackson Hyman, we haven't called his number yet. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we'll see him grab a shift here shortly, and then, my goodness.
Oceanside's going to look to paint another one here. That'll give them a running clock for the remainder of the game.
Finley here, the young man on the wing, another freshman.
6:33 left in the third.
So that entire front line, Finley, Cole, and Kempker, all freshmen. You can't ask for more than that. Robo Reese doing what Robo Reese does. Hands him off to AJ. AJ squashes the plan there. Kempker, he backs off, and the perimeter is set up. Finley the pole, Kempker the short stick. Crusaders are playing catch, trying to get a look, and they just, they got to be in the mind of what do you do? I mean, they've tried just about everything, and Land Sharks have had an answer. There's just no real estate to work in. Robo Reese on it. They're trying to push the ball up the field. I hear the Crusader faithful yelling, push it, but there's nowhere to push it to. It's just very difficult. There he gets a step. Peanut just closes the gap quickly, and there is CJ just makes a good play, feeds it up. He's got Finley on a one-hopper. catches the Crusaders in a change, and he's got nothing but grass. Fires it over to Carter. Carter to the trigger, and it's 14.
That's tic-tac-toe, Tony.
And that's a hat trick for the trigger.
What a heads up on Logan coming down. Gets the ball over to Carter. Carter barely catches that. He already has it on the way over to Titus, who's just on the doorstep waiting.
Yeah, I remember saying to AJ about 6 weeks ago, what if the freshmen figure it out? I remember asking him that question. He said, Dad, if they figure it out with the seniors and the upperclassmen that we have. Remember, Titus is a junior. Jackson Hyman's a junior. This Landshark team, if they can remain intact, is stacked for a very long time.
Charlie Woods on the near wing here.
Woodsy in the game.
Another freshman.
Woodsy in the game. And he's got wheels turning now. You'd like to see him a little more active with that stick. He gave a lot of respect.
Well, here you go. You got a freshman matched up against a West Point commit.
Right.
So this is earning your field time right here.
Yes, sir. And what a moment for that young man. And the moment's not too big for him. He gets him to dish it off. Kimker's becoming more tenacious by the day. CJ, he struggled early in the season. He found his mojo. They're in there scrapping for the ball. It's loose in front of the net. Gavin's got it, and Gavin launches it downfield. There's a whistle. AJ gave a head nod in disgust. I'm not sure what that was about.
I think Gavin was trying to take a goaltender interference call there by getting it up quick, but the referee saw a penalty prior to that.
So it's going to stay in the Oceanside end. It's going to be inbounded from the alley by 24. There's going to be Caden Fritz. Every team should have a Fritzy on it. I don't know if they call him that, but that's what we would call him.
Fritzy's a good nickname.
Fritzy. Yeah, every team should have a Fritzy on it. Every hockey team, every lacrosse team, I think. Anyway, there was a feed in front, didn't make it. It's going to roll out. Lazarus is going to corral it. AJ tells him you can't go this way. He's going to try and make the dodge. He's got nothing but 33 in his window. And there's a big turnaround. What a feed in front. And Ben Habel, look, you can only hope to contain him for so long. There's a reason he's going where he's going. And, he got loose in front, took a great feed, and salute. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap.
He's a big body. The second he gets that core in those arms in that shot, that's what you get.
3:17 clicking down the third period. We got the running clock going, and it's not going to stop short of a timeout. So at this point, the Crusaders are just going to try and work fundamentals and get to the cage as many times as they can. They're not going to quit. There's no quit in this team.
Got Joe Harriet checking in on the far wing.
Big Joey Harriet.
He's going to check back off already.
That's
Offense going to bring out their armaments.
Joey Harriet, along with Sawyer Arnold, a defensive tackle, came out for the lacrosse team, never played before, and that there again shows you we're finding ways for guys to contribute. And that was really the discussion with some of these guys when, we're not used to having a roster this big. And the question was, well, if I come out, will I be able to play? We don't have a JV squad here. So, and the answer was unequivocally yes, because this is more what we expected. We expected our starting lineup to ring the bell a lot and have these other guys get some time. Somebody asked me not too long ago, Carter Gregory coming in front. He's looking for number 7 on the night. And there is magic. MJ throws himself at the net. He's doing a little dance.
Across his body.
Make a little love. Get down tonight.
Across the goal mouth. Beautiful shot.
Atta boy, MJ. MJ Magic Zanone rings it.
I think P.J. Flynn, the goalie's probably wishing his defense could get more lumber on these boys.
Well, I started to say before the play developed, and I had to stop, the talent level on this Oceanside team is very, very high, and it was just a matter of time before they all figured it out. So somebody asked me, well, wow, they exploded for 13 goals the other night. And remember, this Oceanside team put 18 goals up in the first 2 games against all-world competition.
Good competition.
Right?
Chemistry is a word for a reason, but it takes a while to build. Just like in a lab, you got to mix a lot of things to come up with something. That's what these boys needed to do.
Yeah, and there's the clamp. I'm not sure what's going on with the Christ the King when they come off the faceoff, everybody turns and runs to the sideline, and the Clamps got, and it's not the first time we've seen it. There's just wide open grass headed to the goal. If I'm the
and Tony, to be honest, the Clamp's not a big shooter. He's usually looking to dish, but when they roll the red carpet out like that, you got to be willing to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting, what's going on over there, and again, you're talking about a great coaching staff and a great program. I mean, but when you get a game like this, we've been on the Rosebach and the penalty, so the goal's good. And then there's laundry, so frustration is mounting in some form or fashion over there.
We're going to be going to the fourth quarter here already, everyone at home, because we are on a running clock.
Liam Rosebach lights the lamp. You get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get a goal, and Carter, you get 6. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. I'm going to hit some sponsors quick because we're not going to have a whole lot of time left. So, with no further ado, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Charleston, for all your plumbing needs, both residential and commercially, we are there for you. Bowline Wealth Management, Coastal Millwork and Supply, Fast Trans Intermodal, Longshore Boats. I just had a minute to visit with Chris and Tracy Meredith, the Longshore Boat Dynasty over there. So go see them as the weather gets better. Get yourself on a boat. McDonald's, Saltwater Rides, SGKA Investments, the Charleston Design Center, Thomas Supply, Axis Endurance Coaching, Charleston Elite Lacrosse, Lolax Lacrosse, Mazzo Deli, Jersey Mike's. We've had San Miguel, and we've had Don Migliori to feed the boys, and, of course, all the parents that chip in. Thank you.
The way these boys eat, we need the community, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Beacon Community Bank, Acme Low Country Kitchen, Playa Bowls, great customer of mine, makes tasty bowls, many locations, downtown, Somerville, Mount Pleasant. And he was looking to maybe open one on Clements Ferry. My buddy Rich Klein owns that operation.
That Clements Ferry area is growing.
Yes, it is.
Quickly.
Leaps and bounds. Point Hope is getting bigger by the day. The Rosebox, the Hymans, the Longs, the Funkadelics, Johnson's, Craybills, Hollingsworths, thank you for all your generosity, Jamie and Ryan. Everybody that makes Oceanside Lacrosse possible. The administration here, Christina Brown, Mark Meyer, Brooks Barano, Katie Niemeyer, Savannah Metz, the athletic training staff, for us. AJ Zarzak is going to whistle it in. He's coming from the O, in for a shift here on offense, over to Costa, and the big guns are on the field because it's man up. I don't think we have a backup man up. I don't think that's a thing. There's a feed inside to MJ. He wanted it, couldn't.
I think he
got it. So MJ, Magic Zanone, no dance this time. Oh, there's the dance. He's paddling. He's kayaking. Look at MJ. So MJ Magic Zanone lights it back to back, in tight to the net where he lives. And that's going to be 17-3, and the Land Sharks are making a statement here.
Got some new bodies checking in. Miller Seaton, number 3 down there by the goal. Finn Wagner across the field. He's been putting his time in out there.
And Charlie Woods.
Charlie Woods here on the near wing.
Woodsy's in the goal. It's the freshman onslaught here. So you've got Kimker, Cole, and Woodsy, all freshmen up front. We got freshmen in the front, freshmen in the back. We got freshmen for days. The future of this program is bright. Tom Harris, Colin Reich, Coach Seaton, Alex Rode, Joey Boylston when he's here.
Man down here on the field, Tony. Hopefully all is well.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to pop back up.
That was a procedure violation. I'm guessing Oceanside stepped over the line prior to possession being called, so that's why we have Christ the King ball.
And Christ the King's going to give it a whirl here. CJ locking that down. Woodsy, good coverage.
Charlie Woods doing a nice job out there.
Good coverage, Woodsy. Love to see these young kids. 16, big Joey Harriet. He gives him a poke, gets run by. Kind of a trail check there, hands it off to CJ.
Does a good job not leaning on him too much.
Caden Crabill's checked in there on the long pole. There's a feed in front. It's tied up. Woodsy comes up with it. And
Woodsy looking like a veteran out there.
Yeah, and then some sort of interference.
Got an interference call.
So 17 is Craybill, and Craybill said, "Who, me?" All right, I can hear him chattering, Coach, through the headset. So the young defense, they're screaming it out. So you still have the veterans on the field. I see Andy Jones, Joey Harriet up top.
Yeah, I think the coach is always going to have a grounding influence out there with the young guys, but good to see some of these guys getting time.
Yeah, when you have a Joey Harriet and you have a Sawyer Arnold, every play ends in a shove. You watch. Joey was drifting there, and the play stopped, and he shoved him anyway, just in case he needed it.
You could take the football out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of football.
Yeah, pretty much. So Gavin feeds it up, easy in. Andy Jones. Andy's not afraid to shoot for a pole goal. Oh, there's Carter Gregory. What happens when he gets the ball? Kempker's taking heavy fire. He's looking for somewhere to go. He offloads it to MJ Magic. Finn Wagner on the far side. We haven't called Finn's number yet to light the lamp. There's still time, 8:28 and clicking down.
Got Kip Inman coming in here, number 25. Another one of our freshmen getting some valuable time.
Valuable minutes against great competition. You can't ask for more, especially when you're sitting on a 14-goal lead. So 18 is Grayson Weiss. So we're really looking at the at how long the Oceanside bench is. Finn Wagner takes a little. He didn't have a lot of mustard on it, but it was carefully placed.
It looked a little like one of those frustration shots, like I'm sick of getting checked, I'm going to fire this.
Right, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens. So the Crusaders are going into their zone, into our zone, and that's Aiden Lazarus, number 12. 24 up top with it, Caden Fritzy. All the big guns are still on the field for Christ the King.
Tony, you alluded before, great communication out here. Younger guys on the field, a lot of talking, a lot of chatter.
Yeah, I don't know if Tom Harris actually watches our program back or he just sticks to huddle. But, Coach, if you watch this back, I mean, listen to them boys chattering out there. Really good job. There's a little bit of a ward there. And it's going to take a lot more than that to stop Andy Jones. Now there's going to be a penalty because it rolled around the back of the fella. So as soon as we gather possession here, that's going to get whistled dead, and we're going to go man down, and it's going to be Andy Jones.
Yeah, good wheels there on the I don't know what number. I think it was 24 that was carrying that ball. Just got a step on Andy and forced Andy to kind of reach around with a little bit of a hold.
Yeah, and Andy gave him that one last check, and that was one more than the referee wanted to see with a 14-goal lead and 6:35 to go. So the man-down defense, A.J. checks in, and he's out there. You got the senior out there with the youth movement. CJ's out there.
Usually don't want to say this, Tony, but good time to be working on our man-down defense here against live competition.
And there's a scoop. There's a bobble and a scoop. And
that was Logan Finley. Nice job.
I'm not sure if Chris Finley's here or if he's watching, but your boy's doing great. Speaking of Logans, there's a Logan Hamilton sighting right behind me.
What a tip by Finley there, too.
There's a Logan Hamilton sighting on spring break from Carolina. Mom, Megan, Money Meg, standing next to him. Always great to see her. Their boy Cole, the youngest of the Hamilton crew on the lacrosse team. You'll know him when you see him if you don't look over his head.
Great check by your boy there, Tony. I think you may have been turned when he did it. Probably saved us a goal. Guy was rolling right along the crease, and AJ just got his stick in there.
Yeah, you asked me if he's eating it up. He enjoys the defense. I mean, he loves scoring goals, and he wants to contribute any way he can. When Tom asked him and said, look, I'm going to need you to play D-mid. Okay, but I can still play offense, right? Yeah, of course you can still play offense. You can do both. If you get tired, I'm going to yank you. If I start seeing the – oh, and there's a goal that gets by Gavin, a dirt ball, roller in, 4-17.
5 minutes left here in the fourth.
And they're going to ring it down. That was a man-up goal, right? We were still man down?
We had just got to full strength. I'm not sure that our armament made it all the way down into the set, but that would be considered an even strength goal.
So we've got 17-4, Land Sharks in a landslide right here. Nothing but feeling good at the reef here on a beautiful night. Big sun glare, sorry for that. Angie doing all she can on the camera to keep it at bay so that the viewers at home can see a good picture. The clamp still working his craft out there. Just checking in. Procedure on the clamp, or one of the freshmen on the wing jumped the line. I'm not sure we're understanding what makes that happen, and I'm sure that'll come up after the game or in the film room. Somebody's going to take some shrapnel over that. Woodsy's over here. Gavin's yelling, get somebody on the ball. So, when your boy's back there in net and he's got the youth movement in front of him, he gets more and more vocal trying to coach from the cage.
And that's what the goalies do. They've got the best view of the field, so they're the ones usually giving the instructions.
Yeah, and there's a goal. So the defense, again, it's tough for Gavin right now because he's directing traffic, but we got to get these young guys in the game. And that was 20. Who is that?
24, Fritzy.
Yeah, that might have been Fritzy.
Let's hope Fritzy likes being Fritzy.
Well, that was 27. I think that was Colton Hamilton, trotting off there. So everybody, getting a chance to be in here. And there's nothing but things to feel good about here. I mean, these guys are getting valuable minutes. There's no chance we're going to lose this game. It's not going to be a nail biter. So Woodsy runs in here.
Good possession.
The clamp comes away with it clean. Over to Carter Gregory. And there's number 3, Miller Seaton, takes a swing at it.
Gotta love Miller wanting to take while he's out there.
Yeah,
Great to see.
The Seatons are genetically engineered to play this game. If he hits a growth spurt and turns out anything like his brother, it's going to be terrifying. Carter Gregory still out there. And he's directed traffic with the youth movement. Nobody's really giving him anything to pass to there. It's kind of funny.
Oceanside's going to make a goalie change here. At least they were.
We've got a 23 on the field. I don't have a 23 on my roster. Do you?
I do not. That's interesting.
So I'm not sure who 23 is.
Sorry about that, 23.
But he just gave up the ball. And it comes away with, now we're going to be.
I think we're going to be offsides here.
Well, we had 3 back. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was going to be an offside.
Logan was taking some fire and finally had to step over.
My father, Pete, just chimed in. He left at halftime. He's got the game on, says we sound good. Thanks, Pop.
Great ride here at the end of the game by Oceanside.
Yeah, Miller giving it a good ride, and then Charlie Woods. Woodsy's going to inbound it. He gets a way to go. He gets it up to Carter. Carter slides into first base here, recovers. He's going to get in the box.
And the boys will have to keep it in here, being under 2 minutes left.
Wheeling it around. 1 minute and counting down. Little bobble there. That's going to be over and back. That's 18 on my roster. Grayson Weiss.
Now we did have a goalie change. I believe that's Blaze in there. Good to see him in the goal.
There's a holding penalty coming up. So we're going to be man down. There's a shot wide by the big guy.
Blaze seeing some fire. Good to see. Looked like he saw that.
Once again, there you've got young Blaze staring down the Army commit. Only in this game can that happen. I mean, where you're one-on-one with that kind of.
CJ going over to serve his time.
So CJ's going to take a knee.
Blaze taking more fire. May have got a piece of that.
There is one Colton Hamilton checked into the game there in center field.
20 seconds left at home.
One last shot. Blaze caroms that to the side. It rattles around the soccer goal. And Christ the King Crusaders. 5 seconds left. A little poke there. Love it. Creighton Craybill And there's a deflection by Colton Hamilton to end the game, and that is going to be your final score. The rush is on. Look at the players come. Everybody's so happy for everyone. They're rushing the field. Peanut almost crushed Blaze. Don't hurt him, okay? He's just a little guy. The Land Sharks are all smiles. The Crusaders are reeling with thank you for coming down. This score is not indicative of the program that they have. I continue to say that we have an enormous amount of firepower, and when they are clicking, you just saw what it does. There's almost nothing this Oceanside can't do.
Well, Tony, I also think it's a testament to lacrosse here in South Carolina, and even more so in Mount Pleasant. You have a team coming out of North Carolina, which is traditionally a powerhouse area for lacrosse, and they come here to Mount Pleasant and go 0-2 on the weekend. So great to see for lacrosse in this area. Obviously, we feel bad for the boys over there, but it is a game. There's got to be a winner and a loser.
Right.
Oceanside doing a great job getting a solid, I think, complete game win. And again, the best I think I've seen our offense this season so far.
Just smooth, confident, and you know, and I love the move by Coach Harris and Colin Reich. Empty the bench. Okay, we could have left the start. I mean, conceivably, Carter could have had 8 or 9 if the game continued on its current on the trajectory it was on. You know, these young guys get in there, they get valuable minutes. The moment's not too big for them. There is nothing but things to feel good about coming out of this game. You know, a 13-2 blowout of a decent Porter-Gaud team. You know, the win before that against Cambridge. So the Land Sharks are on a 3-0 roll. We're off for a little while. I'm going to quickly dial up when the next game is. I should probably have that more readily available, but I do not. So it looks like the girls play on Monday on St. Patty's Day against Charlotte Christian. And I don't see a boys game for quite a while.
I don't think we play till the end of next week.
We are off all week next week.
Yeah.
So there will be no Tony Zarzaka and Chris Harrison. We are off for the week.
You get your vacation from us.
Yes.
We need these boys to keep this momentum, though. I think it's easy. Obviously, a break like that's good. You can lick some wounds. Hopefully, we can get some guys back healthy. But we got to make sure that we keep this pace and this momentum.
So we have a Hilton Head team coming in here on the 24th. Oceanside Prom is on the 22nd. So, you know, the boys are off, and then there's the prom weekend, and then let's hope everybody shows up well-intentioned on Monday and ready to go.
That is a game that matters.
It is a game that matters.
So there could be no question that the boys need to show up, and obviously we want them to have fun, but
yeah,
there will be business to tend to on that Monday.
So that will be our next opportunity to make this a 4-0 run for the Land Sharks, an important game, playoff implications, so on and so forth. But for that, I mean, there's not a ton more to say, Chris. This was a great week of lacrosse for Oceanside. Congratulations to Coach Tom Harris, Colin Reich, Alex Rode, Clark Seaton, the entire staff over there doing a great job. Thank you again, Christina Brown, Mark Meyer, Brooks Barano, assistant AD, everyone on the staff, Savannah Metz and Katie Niemeyer, keeping our boys healthy. They'll have some time to clean up the dings and dents. They'll get in, they'll get treatment. And then, you know, we should have full firepower available for that Hilton Head game. And I'm looking forward to it. What are you going to do with yourself? You don't have to set this rig up for an entire week.
I have a business trip coming up.
All right, well, there you go. You have to
tried to drop it in when we had a break.
Occasionally you have to work, right? So, all right, well, that's going to be it. I'm going to sign off on behalf of Chris, the coach here, and Angie's already signed off. She's nowhere to be found. That's it from the Reef tonight. Big winners.